Liberal Democrats on Woking Council highlighted their reservations with Conservative financial plans at a recent council meeting. On Thursday, 31st of March, Woking Council had before it the latest stage in Conservative financial plans. Council spending, saving and investment over the next few years were covered in a medium-term financial strategy. The Liberal Democrat group put forward and gained the support of the Council for 3 key points on which the Council should reserve judgment. The points relate to audit delays, future plans for the Council's Thamesway companies and purchase of a car park. To look at the first of these, the Council's accounts for 2019-20 are still being audited. The audited accounts are very delayed. The auditors, amongst other things, want a legal opinion on whether the Council is making enough provision to ensure it can pay back all of its £1.84 billion of borrowing. We need answers on this before we can sign off on Conservative financial plans. Despite the fact that it was Woking's lawyers who had agreed the provision made for borrowing, the initial Council response was to get an internal legal view. By the time we got to Council and the Conservative administration had seen our concerns, they had recognised the need for an external legal opinion. Debate is still ongoing between auditors and the Council. Each suggests delays from the other. The Standards and Audit Committee of the Council tried to get to the bottom of this situation. A meeting to be held in public was agreed, then cancelled. That meeting has now been replaced by a meeting to be held behind closed doors. I am very concerned about the lack of openness and transparency that this suggests. The Council's accounts are public and should be discussed in public. Our second point is that there are no current business plans for the Council's Thamesway companies. Thamesway business plans are being put together, but are not expected until later in the year. The financial plans in the strategy contain proposals to fund these companies, but the detail on how the companies will operate, their plans and projections for the future are not yet available. With revenues not being achieved, especially for Thamesway Central Milton Keynes, which is in debt to the tune of 32 million and not expected to show a return until 2072, we could not sign off without further information. And my third point, Conservatives want to buy the Victoria Place car park for £58 million. Liberal Democrats have long taken issue with Conservative plans to buy this new car park that was built as part of the Victoria Square development. Woking Conservatives want the Council to pay £58 million for a car park which the Council has already borrowed money to build. Councillors were initially told that the car park had to be bought to receive the parking income. When I asked how long it would take to recoup the cost of purchase, I was told it depended on the revenues. One would have expected some plans to be in place for this. In addition, councillors were told the purchase is to fill a funding gap for Victoria Square. We need answers on the legality of this transaction. Can Woking Conservatives really borrow money to build a car park, then borrow more money to buy that car park? Does this take the total borrowing for Victoria Square up from 700 million to 758 million? The medium-term financial strategy was agreed by the Council with reservations on the delayed audit, Thamesway business plans and the proposed car park purchase. Liberal Democrats will continue to seek realistic financial plans based on affordable, sustainable and responsible borrowing. With 1.84 billion of debt to repay, residents of Woking will expect nothing less.